It was called the Rebirth of Europa, better known as the Renaissance era, a remarkable period that shaped human history. In this era, great thinkers, authors, statesmen, scientists, and artists came alive, igniting a powerful transformation from the Middle Ages to the modern world. The Renaissance wasn't merely a change, but a profound shift in how we thought, created, and saw ourselves. During monumental challenges, humanity found a new, vibrant spirit, fueling an Enlightenment era defined by knowledge, innovation, and a deep appreciation for beauty. But have you ever wondered what led to this rebirth of Europa? Let's turn back in history and find the root causes of the Renaissance. In the middle of the 15th century, Europe finally emerged from a long and brutal conflict, the 100 Years' War. No more wars, no more fighting, and suddenly, people had the chance to focus on other things, like building cities, exploring the world, and creating beautiful art. This was the start of what we call the Renaissance. Around the same time, something big happened over in the East. The city of Constantinople, a central hub for scholars and the keeper of ancient Greek and Roman knowledge, fell. So these scholars had to leave, and many headed west. They brought their knowledge and passion for learning, kindling a renewed interest in the old wisdom of the classics. But not all peace and intellectual progress got the ball rolling for the Renaissance. Remember the Black Death? That terrible plague that swept across Europe? Well, as devastating as it was, it also caused massive societal changes. Old norms were questioned, and out of that chaos came new opportunities and new ways of thinking. It was like a reset button had been hit, and right there, the Renaissance took root in the wake of all that change. After the Black Death, people began seeking new perspectives, eager to shape a brighter future. This intense desire for knowledge and progress gave birth to a movement that would become the heartbeat of the Renaissance: humanism. So you might be asking, what's this humanism thing all about? Well, humanism sparked a shift in thinking. It whispered a compelling message: that man was not a passive bystander in the universe, but its center. And let me tell you, humanism urged people to embrace the power of human achievements. Education wasn't just for the privileged. Classical arts were not just relics of the past. Literature and science were not just abstract concepts. They were things to be celebrated, pursuits to be valued. But how did this idea, born in Italy, echo through Europe? We owe it all to an incredible invention: the Gutenberg press. Developed around 1450, this improved communication across Europe. Ideas, once confined to their birthplaces, were now getting passports to travel far and wide. Thanks to the press, texts from early humanist trailblazers like Francesco Petrarch and Giovanni Boccaccio could be printed and handed out like cultural manifestos. These works, steeped in the allure of Greek and Roman culture, nudged society towards a renewal of classical values. While all this was brewing, shifts were also happening on the financial front: advances in international trade and finance. The Renaissance took its first breath in Florence. This city, rich with cultural history and filled with wealthy citizens, served as the perfect incubator for it. But among these patrons, one family stood out for their love of the arts and their influence on the city: the Medicis. The Medicis were not simply rich folks who liked art. They were powerful rulers, a dynasty that held the reins of Florence for over 60 years. They were the patrons you wanted in your corner if you were a budding artist or an intellectual with revolutionary ideas. And guess what? They were faithful supporters of the Renaissance movement. Florence under the Medici was like a magnet, attracting Italian writers, artists, politicians, and thinkers. These people weren't just contributing to the cultural change. They were the change. They declared they were part of an intellectual and artistic revolution, a beacon of light emerging from the shadows of the Dark Ages. And just like wildfire, this movement spread. First, it ignited other Italian city-states, including Venice, Milan, Bologna, Ferrara, and Rome. Then, Like sparks carried on the wind, Renaissance ideas drifted across borders, reaching France in the 15th century and eventually spreading throughout Western and Northern Europe. The Renaissance was a paradigm shift that redefined art, science, and thought. But do you know, the Renaissance wasn't just about big ideas and shifts in thinking. It was also home to some incredible people who took those big ideas and made them into something we still talk about today. For example, artists like Da Vinci didn't just wield brushes, they wielded knowledge. Their canvas was a laboratory, their paints scientific principles. Da Vinci studied anatomy to recreate the human body with jaw-dropping precision in his works. Parallelly, architects were weaving math into their designs. Like Filippo Brunelleschi, to him, math was more than just numbers. He utilized mathematical principles to engineer massive structures and design expansive domes. It was through the mathematical lens that he breathed life into buildings. And then came the paradigm shifts in science. Galileo and Descartes, through their works, changed how we looked at astronomy and mathematics. Copernicus took a step further, proposing a groundbreaking idea. The sun, not the Earth, was at the center of our solar system. Art during the Renaissance was a mirror of reality. It reflected life in its most genuine form. Artists used perspective, shadows, and light to lend depth to their pieces. They didn't stop at physical likeness. They sought to capture the emotions that make us human. The list of renowned works from this era is extensive. Among the most iconic pieces are the mysterious Mona Lisa and the symbolic Last Supper by Da Vinci, Michelangelo's mighty Statue of David and divine creation of Adam captured human potential and divine connection, and Botticelli's Birth of Venus celebrated beauty in its purest form. Hey, wait for a moment here, there's still so much more to explore. But before that, if you are enjoying this video, we'd love it if you could show your support. Just hit that like button, share the video with your fellows, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more enlightening content. And now, back to the video. While many pushed boundaries in arts, science, and thought, others turned their eyes to the spread of the world around them. The Age of Discovery marked a surge in European exploration as brave souls boarded expeditions to chart the uncharted. The globe, as they knew it, was about to change. They set out on the open seas and discovered new routes to lands previously unseen by their kind: the Americas, India, and the Far East. No longer were these places mere myths and stories. They were now marked on their maps and imprinted into their consciousness. Each journey was marked by discovery, adventure, and sometimes danger. Among them was Ferdinand Magellan, who undertook the daring feat of moving around the globe. There was Christopher Columbus, whose voyage led to the first lasting European contact with America. The new continent intrigued Amerigo Vespucci, and he undertook several voyages himself. His detailed accounts and maps were so influential that the new continent eventually took his name. And Marco Polo, Ponce de Leon, Vasco Núñez de Balboa, and Hernando de Soto, among others. These explorers, each in their way, expanded our understanding of the world, navigating not just oceans, but the boundaries of human knowledge. The Renaissance was a period of enlightenment and exploration, a golden age of discovery in arts, science, and geography. However, all golden ages eventually faced their sunset, and the Renaissance was no exception. By the closing years of the 15th century, the Italian peninsula, the cradle of the Renaissance, was plagued by a string of wars. Invaders from Spain, France, and Germany fought for a piece of Italy, unsettling the region and sowing seeds of disruption and instability. Economic decline followed suit as trade routes shifted. This change affected the financial capabilities of the wealthy patrons who had generously backed the arts. As their capitals emptied, so did the flourishing art studios. A shift in the religious landscape also cast a long shadow over the era. In reaction to the Protestant Reformation, the Catholic Church launched the Counter-Reformation, leading to widespread censorship of artists and thinkers. Fearful of retribution, many creatives stifled their innovative spirit. The situation worsened when the Council of Trent established the Roman Inquisition in 1545. Suddenly, advocating for humanism and challenging the church's doctrines became heresy, punishable by death. As the 17th century dawned, the creative flame of the Renaissance flickered out, paving the way for the next significant cultural shift, the Age of Enlightenment. Even so, the Renaissance's impact on art, literature, and thought made an indelible mark on history that still shapes our world today. History is a vast and fascinating landscape. However, the spirit of the Renaissance lives on, shaping our world in ways we may not even realize. So keep that curiosity alive. Keep exploring, keep learning. Thank you for being with us, and we hope to have you back for more. Until next time, stay curious, and goodbye.